everyone, welcome to my channel, and today I'm going to be doing the New Year book tag. It's a bit late to be doing the New Year book tag because we're already in the second week of February when I'm filming this, but I really like the prompt questions for this tag, so I wanted to put a video out anyway, and let's just get started. The first question is, how many books are you planning to read in 2025? And for this one, I originally put 85, but I changed it to 100. In 2024, I read just over 250 books, which I don't love. I definitely read too much and used it as like a coping mechanism and a bit of a crutch. So I want to do that less in 2025. I didn't have a great mental health year in 2024, which is why I did read so much. So I definitely want to spend less time reading this year, more time and energy put into other hobbies like my booktube channel, my bookstagram, and also just other new hobbies that I started over the last few months. So I'm hoping that having my reading goal set to 100 is realistic in terms of the amount that I probably will read anyways, and also trying to keep it on the lower side just because, like I said, I don't want to use it as a crutch so much, and I also want to spend time doing other hobbies and other things like that. Also, we're going to ignore the state of my shelves behind me. I'm going to be doing like a pretty big reorganization and reset of my shelves. They're a mess right now and I don't love it. It's kind of stressing me out. So just ignore those behind me for now. The next question is a book you're likely to reread this year, and that one is definitely ACOTAR. I want to reread the whole series this year. I recently said in 2025 that one of the things I want to do is reread some of my favorite series that I've only read through once and really want to go back and reread them. So I really want to reread the whole ACOTAR series starting in February. The next question is a priority read on your 2025 TBR, and that is the Mistborn trilogy. I want to get to this so badly. I've already started the first one. I'm just under 50% of the way through, and I'm so excited that I'm finally getting to it and that I'm really enjoying it. I'm loving the magic system so far. I'm loving the world building, and it's just so fascinating and fun to be reading such a popular and well-loved series. This one has a very unique magic system. There's different types of people. There's a group of people that have been enslaved for 1,000 years by this regime, and there's a rebellion that wants to overthrow them. So like I said, this has been super fun so far, and I can't wait to see where the trilogy goes. The next question is an author you won't be reading any more books from this year, and I actually don't know an author that I've completely written off. I can't think of any. I couldn't think of any when I was writing the list, and I can't think of any now. I don't think there is an author that I've completely written off. Like, there's authors with views I don't agree with that I won't be reading their books, but they're not books that I would generally be interested in anyway. So I don't really have an answer for this one. The next question is something new that I want to read, whether it's new genre or tropes. And for this one, I really want to read at least one historical fiction and see how I feel about it. I don't really read historical fiction like ever, and so I really want to read one. One of my friends recommended the Alice Network, I believe it's called, so I might give that one a go as my first one. I also want to look into books written by Kristen Hanna, maybe also to start with or to try out. So if you have any recommendations, please leave me a comment down below and let me know what your favorite historical fiction books are, and hopefully I can find one that I really like. The next question is a popular book that I really want to read this year, and for this one I have two books. So one of the books is A Little Life, and this one I am really excited but also very nervous to read. I've wanted to read this for quite a while. I've had it on my TBR for a very long time. I am just very scared to read this. I've seen so many like reaction videos or like reviews with how people are feeling about it while they're reading it when they're done. I know it's going to like destroy me emotionally, but I really want to pick it up anyway. This one follows 4 college classmates that moved to New York together, and they are broke. I didn't really read the back or like the synopsis. I just saw some keywords, and so I saw addiction was mentioned. I'm nervous to read this, but I'm also really excited. And the second one is The Atlas 6 by Olivia Blake. I have never read this and I really want to get to it, and the ones that follow it. Is there one that I don't remember if it's a duology or a trilogy, or I'm not sure, but I really want to get to this one and see what all the hype is about. I'm not sure at all, but I think this one might be magical realism and dark academia. I'm not sure, but the back of it says Secrets, betrayal, seduction, power, welcome to the Alexandrian society. That's really all I know about it. I've never read the synopsis on Goodreads, and I don't really remember anything about it if I've heard someone talk about it. I'm looking forward to reading this one. And the next one is most anticipated 2025 release. For this one, I had a few, but I narrowed it down to 2 because there's a couple that also fall under another question coming up later on the list. So for this one, I just have 2, and one of them I have already read, and that is Onyx Storm. I was so excited for this one. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. If you don't know this book, it's the 3rd in the Empyrean series, I believe it's called, and the first one is Fourth Wing. So this is the 3rd in the series so far. I believe there's going to be 5. I'm not going to talk too much about this series just because it is so well known, but this is the 3rd one. I loved it so much. I also loved Iron Flame, even though a lot of people had a ton of issues with it. I see what the issues were that they didn't like about it. However, I didn't really mind those issues, and I actually loved Iron Flame. But this one I somehow liked even more. I don't want to say anything more about it, but yeah, this one I was really anticipating and I loved it a lot. The next one is A Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry, and this one comes out on April 22nd, I believe. I don't know a ton about this one, but the 2 main characters are writers, and I believe they're competing for the job of writing a memoir for a very famous woman. I love Emily Henry so much. I love all of her books. The lowest I think I've ever rated one of her books was 4.5 stars, and that was People We Meet on Vacation, which is kind of a controversial take. I didn't love People We Meet on Vacation. It's probably my least favorite of her books, but I still loved it, obviously, if I gave it 4.5 stars. I am so excited for this new one. I absolutely can't wait, and the cover is stunning. The next prompt is a bookish goal for 2025. And for this one, I want to post more videos on my channel. I'm so wrapped up in everything needing to be perfect. And then I get nervous and I don't film because maybe one thing is off, or I scrap a whole video when I'm editing the footage. But I have so many video ideas typed up, and I really just want to have more fun with them and film them and put them out. I love filming, I love editing, and I really just want to like go more with the flow with this channel, just be less uptight about it. So I'm really excited to post more videos. I have a ton of ideas from the last few months that I just never did, or I filmed and scrapped them like I said. So I'm excited to film them and get them out. I just love talking about books so much, and I want to be able to do it more. The next question is a book that's been on your TBR for a really long time that you probably won't ever read. And for this one, I couldn't pinpoint a book specifically, but I do have a lot of nonfiction for someone that doesn't really read nonfiction. I'm sure there's quite a few that I own that I'm not going to get to probably ever. So I should probably get rid of those, but I'll have to go through them first and figure it out. But there's definitely a few nonfiction that I could get rid of. And the next question is a series I really want to read this year, and I really want to read the Mortal Instruments series and get into the whole like Cassandra Clare universe. I have the first 3 books from the Mortal Instruments series already. I thrifted them a few years ago in brand new condition. It starts with The City of Bones, and I've been wanting to get to them for so long. I've just been super intimidated by like getting into this new world and starting that whole thing when I have so many other series that I still need to finish. And I say this as I just started the Mistborn trilogy, which takes place in Brandon Sanderson's like Cosmere, which is basically the universe that exists within all of his books or something. I don't know. So anyway, the Mortal Instruments series is a YA series. It starts with the first book, City of Bones, and our main character's name is like Clary or something, I think. She witnesses someone being unalived, and then there's this whole thing with like shadow hunters. Apparently there was a movie back in the day that was made. I never watched it, and then there's the Netflix show that I started the first episode and then realized it was this whole big book series, so I didn't watch more than that. There's a whole magical system with the shadow hunters, I believe, so I can't wait to see what the hype is all about with this Cassandra Clare universe. The next question is auto by authors going into 2025, and definitely Emily Henry and Abby Jimenez. I will always pick up a new Emily Henry, and I think I read my first Abby Jimenez last February 2024, and I absolutely love her books, and I can't wait for her new one coming out in April called Say You'll Remember Me. The cover is so cute, and I am just so excited for both of these authors' new books coming out. I just realized both of their books are coming out in April, so that makes me extremely excited for the month of April. The next question is a book to screen adaptation I'm excited about this year. And I think I heard that People We Meet on Vacation is coming out this year. I don't know if it's this year or next year. I tried to look it up but couldn't find anything. I saw a bunch of people speculating 2025 release date though, so I hope that is coming out this year, and I'm really excited for whenever it does end up coming out. I'm also very excited for the next Game of Thrones spin-off show that's coming out sometime in 2025 called A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, which is based on one of the spin-off books from Game of Thrones, I believe. I love House of the Dragon. I've never finished Game of Thrones. I have just a couple seasons left, but House of the Dragon is just like my favorite show. I rewatch it all the time and I can't wait for this new show. The next question is a sequel that I'm excited about coming out this year, and I have two for this one. These ones could also have answered the prompt earlier about anticipated releases for 2025, but I saved them for this one instead. The first one is A Ballad of Falling Dragons, which comes out on October 7th. We don't have a final cover for it yet, but I can't wait to see it. This one is the sequel that follows When the Moon Hatched, and I absolutely loved this book so much. There are a ton of mixed reviews. I happen to love it so much, and I cannot wait for the sequel, especially with how the last bit of When the Moon Hatched went. I'm just so excited for the sequel. When the Moon Hatched has a very unique to me magic system involving dragons and different kingdoms. There's a rebellion going on, and I don't want to go too much into it, but I'm very excited to see the follow-up to that. The next one I'm really excited about is A Theory of Dreaming, and that one follows A Study in Drowning. I absolutely loved A Study in Drowning. I know a few people who really didn't like it, but I loved it. It's like a YA dark academia magical realism situation, and like I said, I really liked it, so I cannot wait for the sequel. It comes out in August. I actually don't know anything about it. Same with When the Moon Hatched sequel. I don't know anything about either, and so I'm gonna try and not see or hear what they're about and just kind of go in as blind as possible, especially because they're sequels. For first books in series, I generally like to know what I'm getting into, but for sequels of books that I loved, I'm a little more lax on that and like to go in a bit blind. So there's 4 more questions left, and the next one is bookish things I'm leaving behind in 2024. And I think the big one, which I've already kind of mentioned, is perfectionism with BookTube and Bookstagram that are causing me not to post on either platform pretty much at all. So I'm really looking forward to just kind of relieving the pressure, going with the flow, using them as a creative outlet like they're designed to be, and just having as much fun as I can with them. I pressure myself way too much because I feel like I'm not as good as other people, or I'm not good enough. So I'm hoping that I can just leave that behind in 2024 and move forward. The next question is what to expect from this account in 2025. So like I just mentioned, I want to be posting more. I want to do tags like this one. I want to do my monthly TBRs, monthly wrap-ups, reading vlogs, and I also want to create seasonal TBRs. I love reading seasonally and setting seasonal TBRs. I'm really excited for spring and making my spring TBR, so I'll probably be posting that near the middle to end of March. But yeah, that is what you can expect from my account in 2025. How has my reading taste evolved in the last year? I would definitely say I love contemporary romance books. I never really liked them before, but I don't think I really gave them a chance. But I started reading them last February and I absolutely love them now. I have always really liked Emily Henry's books, but they don't really feel as fluffy as a lot of them are, which I love. I love a good fluffy contemporary romance, but I also like the ones like Emily Henry's that have a bit more depth to them, but I just love contemporary romance now. The next question is bookish creators that inspire me, and for this one I have Once Upon a Bookish Steph. She is so funny and creative. I love her book opinions. We have a lot in common. She definitely reads books that are a lot scarier than ones I could handle, but I love her opinions. Her videos are always just such a joy to watch. Another creator that inspires me is Alex. His videos are so aesthetic. He is also very funny and I love his opinions. He does not hold back from his true feelings about books, whether they're positive or negative, and I really appreciate that. He is just really funny and his videos are just super enjoyable to watch. The third creator that inspires me a ton is Mimi. She has such cute videos. The one that came out most recently as I'm recording this, I'll link the specific video below because she had a board game TBR and the editing was so cute. I absolutely loved it. So that one will be linked below, and I'll also link the other creators below as well. And the last one is something that I'd want to say to someone starting a bookish account. And for this one, I would probably say just go at your own pace and don't pressure yourself. I have had my channel for I think like 2 years now, and I'm really only going to be starting to post regularly like going forward from now. I had a lot of mental blocks and just like imposter syndrome and all of that. So I think just going at your own pace and figuring out what works best for you in terms of your schedule, what you want to put out, editing, how often you want to put out videos, just stuff like that. Okay, so that is it for the New Year book tag that came out a little bit late. I had so much fun answering these questions. I'll post all the questions in the description box below if you want to make this video as well. I've seen it around a ton and I love seeing everyone's answers to these prompts and like how varied we are, but also how similar we can be sometimes. Let me know if you have any responses to these questions that you really want to share down below in the comments, and I will see you guys again soon. Bye!